Best day of sports, maybe.
It was incredible.
Best weekend of sports.
I thought it was. Why are you looking at me like that?
I mean, it was cool.
It was exciting.
That's exactly how I feel.
It wasn't nothing
That's
special.
exactly how I feel.
Best Sunday of football this year. All right, whatever.
You said best day of sports.
Okay, I got excited.
That's
It's like a
weekend of sports,
Monday.
maybe.
Excuse me, no
Good
NBA?
fights,
No,
World
I'm not
Series,
giving it the
good
best day of
football
sports with no NBA.
I meant best day of this
Not doing
football
that.
season. Already starting the debate. Stephen A, Keisha, and Max, I'm Molly. Let's get it, guys. Sunday was not Cam Newton's day, though. Getting blown out by former Patriots quarterback Jimmy G. Stephen A, you see your boy? And the Niners 33-6. To be fair, Cam dealt with COVID, but less than 100 yards passing and 3 picks before getting benched. The Pats are 2-4. Mr. Smith, panic or patience for the New England Patriots?
Oh, it's panic time. I think it's panic time. I don't think there's any question about that when you consider what we're witnessing going on in the AFC, combined with the way the Buffalo Bills are playing, combined with the way the New England Patriots look. I feel sorry for the Patriots. I'm worried about Cam. I feel sorry for the Patriots because you come into the season, about 9 different defensive players don't want to show up because of COVID-19. And then you've got a situation where you've got to stop practices and shut down your facilities on at least 2 or 3 occasions, for crying out loud. I'm looking at all of those things with a new quarterback, and I'm like, damn, regardless of how great Bill Belichick is, that's a lot to overcome when practices are interrupted and you can't do what you normally do. But then you go out there. Cam Newton, and I've said this on many occasions, I like Cam. Cam's a former league MVP. Cam is a phenomenal athlete. I have never called him a phenomenal passer, and I never will. He's not the most accurate passer in the world. With the exception of the year that Norv Turner was the offensive coordinator, I think it was 2018 in Carolina, Cam Newton had never completed more than 60% of his passes, okay, in the 8 other seasons that he was in the National Football League. 2 of the last 3 games, he's completed 60% of his passes. Yesterday, he only throws the ball 15 times, and he doesn't look that accurate doing so. The interception that came off the hands of Julian Edelman, that was behind him. That was a bad throw on the part of Cam Newton. I'm just looking at it right now, considering the fact that religiously they're bereft of weapons at the wideout spot because Bill Belichick has never drafted well from the wide receiver position. N'Keal Harry can't get open if you pay him. I mean, you can throw the ball and you can hope that he gets it, but in terms of gaining separation, that's not his thing. So I'm looking at that. I'm looking at the injuries. I'm looking at the guys that didn't show up because of COVID-19. I'm looking at the fact that you're behind the 8 ball in the AFC East because Buffalo is ascending. And then on top of it all, you look at the rest of the AFC, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, of course, Kansas City. The Chargers can't be slept on, etc. Everywhere I look, I mean, the Patriots will like it, and the way it's looking right now, they ain't going to even make the playoffs.
I say patience. And the reason I say patience is I've seen Cam this season, play very well, which means it's in him. Now, doing that consistently is something else, but I've seen it in him. I thought the game against Seattle was the best football game I've seen this year, contested on the highest level. Right. And by the way, they stopped Cam at the goal line or else they would have handed Seattle an early season loss. So what happened to that Cam? Because even before COVID, unless he was already symptomatic and didn't know it or something, he had a mediocre game that they won. But I thought, hey, you know what? That's pretty good. Cam won a game where he really wasn't at his best. That shows you good stuff about the Patriots. And then since then, he missed the game, and then he looked bad, and then he looked worse. If you throw the ball 15 times, you can't turn it over 3 of those times. And what's worse is Garoppolo's in town. Now, I understand Belichick, both the GM and the coach, had pressure coming from 2 ways, the quarterback and the owner, right? And the quarterback did an end around. The GM and coach went to the owner, said, ship this guy. He wants to give this guy my job out of town. I don't think Belichick ever thought Garoppolo was better than Tom Brady, but I thought he looked at Garoppolo and said he can get the job done. And with him, we have continuity. We don't have to miss a beat. And we see what it looks like when you don't have continuity. Not only 9 guys off the defense and COVID on the whole thing, but the quarterback comes in really toward the beginning of the season already and has to adjust and learn everything right away, and he's going to have to do it on the fly. So I would say I've seen it in Cam, and I will have patience because the lesson of sports is always patience, patience, patience. Right when you run out, more patience. It's in there in him somewhere, and he's got to put it together before too long because they have a tough game coming up, and they already have twice as many losses as wins.
I'll start panicking next week after they play Buffalo. See what that is. I give him 1 more week, but Cam certainly has not lived up to the billing at all whatsoever when you look at it. he's had about these last 2.5 game stretch has been very bad. Prior to the Denver Broncos, then Denver, now this yesterday. It's a little concerning, but I also understand the pressure that he's under. He's replacing a living legend. Let's just start there. Everybody in the Boston area and Boston, I almost call them Celtics, Patriot fans are really looking for him to take the next step. So the moment that it was a little window of opportunity for them to pounce on him, that happened. And then yesterday, he didn't play well. Jimmy Garoppolo comes to town. There's this Jimmy Garoppolo effect. Should he be the quarterback of the Patriots? I've got to do better. So now I start just pressing, throwing the ball all over the place. Plus, to Stephen A's point, who was he really throwing to? I mean, he's really never, in his career as a whole, really never had any dynamic receivers. Steve Smith was on the back end when he got Smitty in Carolina. Julian Edelman is now on the back end. This isn't Julian Edelman of 5 or 6 years ago. N'Keal Harry, I don't know what that is, Steve. I don't even know. Like, I just don't.
He can't get open.
I don't know what that is.
He can't get. He can't get up.
It looked like he was turning a corner early in the season.
Did your concerns start after COVID?
No. It started after COVID, but it's not because of COVID in terms of Cam Newton. It's because of COVID in terms of the team. Because I saw the way they played against Kansas City in a loss. I saw the way they played against Seattle in a loss. We know how great Bill Belichick is, and we know how these guys are going to be prepared. So when they look a bit discombobulated, I can't put that just on the coach. These are incredible conditions that they've had to work under for having 8 or 9 guys not show up because of COVID. And then to have to cancel practices and shut down 3 occasions. Football, you got to prepare, and to have that compromise is a big thing. Let me get to Cam in this regard. First of all, he had Kelvin Benjamin, which wasn't much. We know that. They should have never let go of Steve Smith in Carolina. They were worried about his impact in the locker room, which was nonsense.
That was your boy, Dave Gettleman.
Yeah, not my boy. Don't get me started with that.
Definitely not
Dave
mine.
Gettleman, okay? So not only that, but then again, we speak to the accuracy of Cam Newton, and then we got to be real about this. Can we get into a little bit about Boston? Now, I love Boston from the standpoint of the Boston Celtics fans. I think it's one of the best places to play and all of this stuff. They love themselves some Tom Brady.
But you should. 6 championships.
No. I'm not knocking that. What I'm saying is your point. The point that you've made on radio is this. You're succeeding Tom Brady. They didn't want him gone to begin with. But then for him to be gone and for you to be the successor, you got to ball. I mean, Cam looks different. He acts different. He talks different. He dresses different. And all of that's cool if you play the same. But when you play different and it's worse, you got a problem. You got a real problem there.
Stephen A., Tommy Boy is winning.
For man, not to throw the ball 15 times with 3 interceptions. He has to play better than that. That's a leadership issue. He's got to be better than that.
I'm going to get security to come up here on ESPN because I'm telling you right now, you sit up here and try to rave about Tom Brady today, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. We got to get security up in here to talk with you and your phony stuff. I mean, the ravine, the clip, and all of this stuff that you've been saying all of these years.
Evidence-based.
Really?
Evidence-based.
We gave you
Evidence-based.
Evidence-based.
You're going to have a problem today. I'm telling you right now.
Stay right there.
Please. I wish I really could bring it. I wish you could handle it. I really do.
Please,
let's go. Let's go to the next segment.
Joining
Get your feelings hurt this morning.
Tampa,
Brady.